How's everyone? I'm sending a message to a friend real quick. So I just did a premiere without actually knowing I was doing a premiere. What I thought I was doing was posting a video, and I went to change it because I was going to post it in my members channel or members room or members whatever it's called, and I decided at the last minute not to. Because there's a few friends that aren't members that I want to be able to see it. Maybe more than a few friends. Give me 1 second. One second. So yeah, it was chanting Om. And anyone who suffers from anxiety, stress-related issues, is looking to make a deeper spiritual connection, wants to improve their lung capacity, immune function, creativity, intuition, and a host of other benefits. Most specifically, heart rate variability, the ability to bring your heart rate and bring heart rate from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic quicker. Hey Timo, how are you? How is life as a monetized channel, my friend? One second. So I was mentioning that, hey, Squirrel Sniper. Just give me 1 second. I was mentioning that I did a accidental premiere. Hey, Sabine. All my favorite people showing up. I didn't realize that I was doing a premiere. I thought that I was going to share it in the members channel, and then I remembered that Bumblebee T, as well as Skits, both were talking about healing. Both were talking about anxiety, calming the central nervous system. So I thought I would share it everywhere. So I went to bring it back from members channel to regular channel, and I must have hit premiere by mistake. Sniper says, was a beautiful heron. Thank you. One of my favorite birds to see, especially the great blue heron gets all of the fanfare because it's long neck. It's very elegant looking. The green heron is smaller and it's compact until it opens up its neck, and then it's like this high. Just a fascinating bird. Sweet says, I was just in your premiere. I didn't know I was having a premiere. It was a complete mistake. I hope it was successful. Next time when I have a premiere, I'm going to try to know that I'm having a premiere, and that way I can join in. Sabine says, it was really good explanation of the channeling. Thank you. What I did was I made it and I was going to share it on the members channel. But then, as I was mentioning previously, I talk quite a bit with T and Skits about anxiety. And this is a perfect tool, perfect healing modality for helping with anxiety and health across the board. So I thought that I would share it with everyone. And somewhere I must have pressed premiere. So my very first premiere, and I didn't even know I was having it. Hey, Jeremy and Cheryl, how are you guys? Always happy when you stop by to say hi. Timo said, Sabine said, you did a premiere, and I said, why didn't Eric schedule the premiere a bit so we could enjoy it together? That would have been fun. I've never done one, but I'm going to do one soon, I think. So he says, yeah, that would be better if you would time it out. Next time for sure. So he said it was really good. Thank you. Man, I hope everyone tries the chanting. It's if you did it 5 minutes a day, uh, through years of teaching meditation, I'm often told, I don't have time to meditate. Optimally, 20 to 30 minutes twice a day, and you get excellent results for meditation across the board: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, creativity. It's an amazing practice, but I'm always told I just don't have time, or I start and then I stop. If you were to do breath work 3 times a day and the chanting and easy yoga asanas, and I mean really easy, it could be 3 to 7, let's go as high as 9, 3 to 9 postures that you do. You have a complete yogic practice, especially if all you did was the chanting. You would get the full health and spiritual and emotional benefits. Your immune system would improve, your creativity, you'd be more inspired, you'd be more intuitive, you'd have more energy. It increases lung capacity. The nervous system is relaxed. You tone the vagal nerve, which helps us go from the fight and flight, fight or flight, sometimes it's both maybe, to rest and digest instantly. Thank you, Sabine. I appreciate that. So my goal with showcasing yoga is really to show it's not about stretching. Yoga has been a traditional spiritual path for predating Christianity, predating Buddhism, predating almost every organized religion. For one, it's not a religion. So, and it starts with the ethical, which are life-changing in and of themselves. If all you practice was the first 2 limbs of yoga, the ethical restraints, as well as the personal observances, your life would change dramatically and drastically. It is, I remember reading them to a Christian friend, and they had said, well, that's just common sense. Basically, Christianity. And my thoughts were exactly. It's 100%. However, if you go to church, 90% of the time, you are told what to do as far as society is concerned. You're not told what to do to reach a higher state of consciousness. You're not told what to do to be more loving. You're not told what to do to be at peace within yourself. You're given these broad social commentary statements that have nothing to do with the teachings of Jesus. With yoga, they say, this is what you do. You want a better life? Don't lie. Don't steal. Don't hurt people. Hey, William, how are you? Anthony Greek is here and says, Eric, I enrolled in a biology course. It requires organic chemistry. On the other hand, physics needs mathematics to be explained. Um, I never took physics. I did take biology, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't. I'm not good at math. I was about to say I don't enjoy math, but you know what? The explanation of math I enjoy. Doing math I don't enjoy. So I love the connection between physics and mathematics. William says, "What have I missed? Good afternoon, all." I was talking about chanting, and then sort of eat into a yogic rant, tangent on yoga, and the slight differences, yoga and Christianity. I've talked to quite a few Christians on the live stream, and they agree that an issue with Christianity is they doesn't outline a practice on how to be a Christian. They tell you what to believe, and they also give you, again, social commentary. They even tell you who to vote for. If you want to be a good Christian, this is who you vote for. However, they don't say this is how you treat your neighbor. This is how you treat someone who lives somewhere else, a stranger, a foreigner, someone at your border. They don't tell you that. It is in the Bible. And if you study the Bible, you're given clear and explicit directions on how to live your life. Jesus outlined, if all we had was the Sermon of the Mount, that would be enough. Just the Sermon of the Mount. You got rid of all the rest of the Bible, and you had Sermon of the Mount. And maybe let's throw in Jesus's direction of where to locate the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within. And yet when we pray, we're praying for outer solutions. We don't turn within and say, Jesus, Holy Spirit, God, show me the kingdom. Reveal to me the kingdom. Let's see. Sue says, Yogi, 100% or 100. I added the percent. Let's see. Someone said, like, fun video. Thank you, someone. Much appreciated. Sue saying hi to everyone. As is Sabine. So, for me, I found that practicing yoga brought me around to, I pretty much left Christianity behind me when I left Catholic school in 9th grade upon request by everyone in the school. Every single teacher, every single person on the faculty pretty much was in agreement. We think maybe you should go to a different school, preferably not a Catholic school. Preferably, you shouldn't be a Catholic. You shouldn't be a Catholic at all. Maybe I made the last part up. Maybe that last part didn't actually happen. It sure felt like it. And I left Christianity behind me, which was good because it opened up a world of exploration. However, two things. When I dove deep into yoga, especially studying the yamas and the niyamas, the ethical viewpoints, and then picking up in the early 90s, A Course in Miracles, I developed a relationship not with Christianity, but with Christ. Developed a relationship with Jesus. Life-changing experience that I didn't have to be a Christian to have a relationship with Jesus. I could let go of all labels. Don't have to be a Buddhist, but I can follow Buddha. I can be Buddha-like. Sabine says, hello everyone, I missed to say hi. I think you got everyone. Sue said, I finally got a video of a full freight train this morning, or at least almost 11 minutes. I've been waiting for that. Awesome. Do you have it up? I'm just clicking on Sue. I like bringing her channel up, so when I'm done live, I dive right into the shorts. But today, we got a 11-minute, 10-minute, 57-second video of a freight train. There's something about a freight train that calls to my inner hobo, my Dharma bum, Jack Kerouac, Neil Cassidy. Makes me want to put my belongings in a bandana, tie it around a stick, and hop a freight train. Eat food out of a can, heat it up over an open fire. Sue says, yes, it posted. I'll be there to watch. And went to the river for some serenity this morning. Nothing beats water. Doesn't matter if it's a creek, if it's a lake or a pond, if it's the ocean or the sea or a bay, wetlands, but specifically there's just something magical about a river. Milka would say it's got to be the ocean. Not against anything else, but the ocean, that's her spiritual place. And it does have a nice sound at going to sleep at night. Breeze coming off of the ocean. You got your window open. You smell the seawater, salt water. But if you guys have ever camped out alongside of a stream, alongside of a river, then you know the magic of that sound. And then if you can combine it with a freight train going by, not too close, just close enough. So, Anna Greek, good luck in your class coming up. Keep us posted how you do. Sabine, I'm really happy that you made it to the premiere, because now I know how it went. William says, well, if water holds memories, we being mostly water, it kind of fits. That's true. I agree with that, William. Do you know dolphins in their fins have a bone that is extremely similar to thumbs? As if they left the water with the full capacity to evolve further into their own version of whatever intelligent they would have been on land, rivaling us, maybe even more so. But then they look back and they were like, you know what? I like the ocean better. It's free, it's playful. My responsibility is to feed and to love. That's it. Sue says, and there is usually no one around, so it was just the sounds of the water, occasional passing car. Nice, really nice. Sweet says, if you do another premiere, I will be there too. Thank you. I'm going to try. This was doing the Om was inspired to help skits as well as, and most specifically, Bumblebee Tea. And I wanted to do it so that people could close their eyes and chant along with me. And also, so they can go back to it anytime, but also they can get the essence of the practice and take it with it, and they can chant Om wherever they want. It's a very, very powerful practice. Om contains the entirety of yoga in just that syllable, especially when you chant it correctly. Most people just go Om, but it's actually ah is the sound of creation itself. virtually every name of the creator has an in it. And then Om is the sound of that which is created. So it takes us from the unmanifest to the manifest. It's considered a bija um, mantra. Sabine says, right on, Eric. Thank you, Sabine. Chanting's very good. It helps you so much. It does, and it's very, very healing. And a lot of people who can't get out of bed to do the yoga asanas, the postures, um, or have a difficult time meditating, they can chant for 5 minutes and they start gaining all the benefits and more because of the vocalization harmonic effect that it has on the body. Connects us to divinity, or reminds us of our connection. Bonner Boy says that a slight crash, if you would call it that, on my driving lesson. To be fair, it do more damage learning on the car. Someone tapped the back of the car. Well, I'm glad there was no damage. I'm surprised you didn't clutch your neck and yell whiplash. Simi says chanting is very good, helps for so much. It does. It also helps us to clean and open up your chakras. Yep, very much. It even takes pain out of your body. Sabine says exactly. 100%, Sabine. That's why I was thinking it would be such a useful practice for our friend Bumblebee T. Runner Boy says, laughing, I didn't even realize she tapped us until the instructor said. Well, as long as it wasn't your fault. So as I mentioned in the video specifically, the great thing with Om, as Sabine was saying, opening up the chakras, and it literally opens up all of them. You can do a chakra chant where each chakra from the very base all the way up to the crown has a different vibration, a different mantra, like Lom, Ram, and then you work your way up until you get to Om, to the last two, third eye and the crown chakra. And then you are completely opened up and aligned. The problem people wanting to concentrate on individual chakras is because something might feel out of balance, and it might be. But if you concentrate too much on one particular chakra, you throw everything else out of balance. So if you use a universal chakra, or if you use a universal mantra to balance all the chakras at once, such as Om. Spina Snaffin says, run a boy as long as nobody got hurt. Absolutely. So if there's any, either in the members channel or more broadly across the board, any subject on meditation or the chanting or yoga, the philosophy and psychology, more so the psychology of yoga. If you want me to make a video, let me know. Wonder Boy says, my back. If you were in the United States, someone would have done it. Hey, Ann, how are you? Ann's Crap Chat is here. Says, hi, Yogi. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you, Ann. Runner Boy says, to beginner's guide to yoga. I could do that. I actually have one on the members, but I can make a general one. The thing is, what I teach, whenever I talk about yoga, people always want to talk about the asanas. And asanas are just one branch and a small branch of the 8 branches of yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga. So I do have 200-hour certification in asanas. I didn't take it for the asanas. I took it because it offered a broad teaching on the entirety of yoga, specializing in the postures. And I do love the postures. Hey, Kayla. But I'd rather talk about the life-changing practice of yoga psychology, the thought system, how changing how we recognize our thoughts through the practice of meditation and breath work, chanting, and other means, self-inquiry, turning within, how that changes our life. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is basically the handbook, the guidebook, the Bible of yoga, one of them at least, the yoga asanas, the postures, in 195 sutras, mentioned 3 times, and only briefly, as postures to sit in for better meditation purposes. What's new, Kayla? Kayla was playing a new game this morning. And what's new with you, Anne? Smith says that would be great. I will do that. I have something in mind. It's easier if I get Mocha to demonstrate. For one, I think everyone would agree, man or woman, everyone would rather look at Mocha than look at me. I'd rather look at Mocha than look at me. And I like me, but I'd still rather look at Mocha than me. And I also get to narrate as she's doing things. See, William says hello to Anne, Runner, and Kayla. As to Sabine. Wonderboy says, you ever do cold therapy? I haven't since COVID. I used to belong to I guess we could call it a spa. And I joined it because it had the cold plunge and several saunas, as well as a hot tub and a heated pool. I love saunas. One of the best things you can do for your health, lower your blood pressure, decrease stress. It's a low impact cardio workout because your heart rate rises, but very gently. But you're still getting the benefits from raising the heart rate, and you don't have to do anything. So it's like working out as you're sitting. But when it shut down during COVID, never opened back up again, unfortunately. So I haven't done any cold plunges since. And says, hey to William, and not much going out in town for a couple of days, just relax. Nice. You going mountains, tropical, ocean? Daxel Dagoon says, yo, I'm new. Welcome, my friend. Appreciate you being here. I like the name, Daxel Dagoon. Kayla says, hi, Sabine, and I will connect with you. Oh, I thought you might have already been connected with Sabine. I'm pretty sure you are with Optimob, right? So everyone wants to skip over the deeper aspects of yoga and get right into the stretching. Or they might want to get into the stretching and do some breath work. But they skip the ethical restraints and the personal observances. Without the ethics brought into a deep, deep practice, nothing else means anything at all. And it goes so deep. the first of the yamas, which is ethical restraints, and they're called restraints is because we restrain from this and the opposite grows. So the very first one is ahimsa, which means do no harm. And the restraint, we restrain from harming, and the opposite, peacefulness, becomes our very essence, or we realize that it's always our very essence. But you got to take it deep, really deep. That means doing no harm across the board to animals, to other people. It means not doing psychological harm, not doing emotional harm, not doing physical harm. And you turn it within, it means not doing yourself any harm. So when you are judging others, when you are not forgiving others, when you are unkind to others for whatever reason why, you're doing harm to yourself. To yourself. It has less to do with the other person, everything to do with you. Yoga turns everything around. I almost said 360, but then that would be back in this direction. Turns everything around 180. Axel says, yo, I'm new. You certainly are. Hey, Jacob. Jake dropped Kayla Boo's link. You guys connected with Kayla? She is the ultimate gamer. She has the endurance of an ultra runner. She's also very focused, and at the same time, she's open, fun, and engaging all at once. Smith says, thank you, Jacob. Jacob takes charge, doesn't he? Jacob knows what he's doing. He doesn't mess around. Jacob's dropping everyone's link. I wanted to visit our new friend, Daxel Dagoon's channel. Looks like a gaming channel too. I mentioned before, I got a appreciation for gaming channels and what they do. Dredson says, what up, fam? Not much. Dredson, how are you? How was your weekend? Jacob drops the link for Squirrel Sniper. Just spread, let's see, just not out of smooth, 100 unbroken. Way to go. Weekend was solid, productive. There's a lot to be said for unbroken reps. It might not be as, engaging if you're live streaming, but staying in that one spot, staying focused, and then just getting rep after rep after rep. Absolutely love doing unbroken reps. Dritson says, I hope you're thriving. I am, my friend, and I appreciate you. I appreciate that hope, that wish. So I'm going to attempt to keep the live stream at about an hour today. Sometime I'm going to bring up a discussion. I guess it depends on what you're doing. Is it better to do? I do live streams 3 times a day. That's a lot of me. That's a lot of me time. So I never expect anyone to show up. Is it better to do a 3-hour live stream straight across the board, or 3 live streams of an hour, hour and a half tops? What do you guys think? Hey, Flower. Hey, you get to see Flower twice today. Speed says, my channel is just a backup channel and to support. It's always nice to have that option to be able to reach out to you, though, in case, for whatever reason, something goes haywire on the internets. We got, other options to stay in touch. Laura says, also had a bio quiz today. Definitely failing. You will, it's early in the year. You'll catch up. Get more sleep. Speed says, hi to Dreadson. Dresden says, sending out the link. I'm making some moves. Peace. Peace to you, my friend, and thank you. I appreciate that. Jacob drops flowers link. Hey, Brian, how are you? Hey, speaking of water, and we were up above with just one Sue. Brian Lane really has an affinity for water. He really connects with it. He's made several videos, lots of videos, going down to the stream by his house, talking, doing meditations, doing burpees by the river or by the stream, doing burpees in the stream. Brian is only 24 away from 1,000 subscribers. Brian says it's good, thanks. Is that a Puja Lama? Did I say that right? Says, I'm new here. Welcome, my friend. I just clicked on your channel. You have some interesting stuff. Looking forward to connecting. I just subscribed to you, my friend. Brian says, yes, water is healing. And one thing I could say I did learn from Dad was a good thing. Nice. Brian says, how you doing today, Eric? Doing pretty good, Brian. Easy day, nothing special going on, but doing all the stuff I love to do. I was talking about video I just made on chanting Om. And I hope it proves helpful for some people. I'm not an expert in chanting, but it has been a useful tool. It's been a significant tool for me. Flower says, one person in chat, 3 now. It comes and goes. I think we had 15 at one point. Regardless, I keep talking. I prove the theory that my parents, my siblings, every teacher I've ever had, and Mocha all have had of me, which is I will keep talking, whether anyone is listening or paying attention or even present. It doesn't matter. I'll just keep talking. As I love my own conversations more than any one person has a right to enjoy their own conversations. It's probably true. I think when I was 14 years old, it was about 14, I read Thomas Wolfe's The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, which is about hippies. Ken Kesey. Ken Kesey was the author of One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest and Sometimes a Great Notion, which is a magical novel. Everyone should read both, but Sometimes a Great Notion is awesome. And when Ken Kesey was in graduate school to make some money, he did some experiments. He didn't know it was experiments, that you get paid to be experimented upon, and it was with LSD, and it completely changed his life. Um, and he took a bus trip across the country from San Francisco going to Princeton because he wanted to hang out with Timothy Leary. Timothy Leary did not like him. They didn't like each other. But along the way, he filmed the entire thing. They drove a school bus that was painted Dayglow. This is in 1964. Hippies weren't yet really a big thing. Um, the house band on the bus was the Warlocks, and the Warlocks later became the Grateful Dead. So, the bus driver. Let's see, Brian, you gonna go to sleep, or Flower, you gonna go to sleep? I have to go, Eric. I need to sleep, but I don't want to. I'm still gonna try. Peace. Definitely go to sleep. Have a good night, Flower, and peace to you, my friend. Um, the bus driver was Neal Cassady, and Neal Cassady is the pseudonym of I can't think of the name now. From Jack Kerouac's The On the Road. I almost said Dharma Bums because that's one of my favorite books. And they predate the hippies. That was the hipster generation, the jazz, hitchhiking across the country, hopping freight trains, hanging out with the hobos. I love that era. I love everything about that era. I'm actually friends on Facebook with some of the surviving members. I'm actually friends with Facebook with the last person who ever spent time with Neal Cassady. Anyway, back to the 60s. When they were driving the bus, Neal Cassady was the bus driver, and he would keep up an incessant conversation that no one could follow, but it was like listening to jazz. There was a melody to it that you had to really listen deeply, and it didn't matter what he was saying. He might not have even known what he was saying. He was just so in tune with something that was giving him words to utter. So he did. And he would, even when he was driving, he would juggle a small sledgehammer in his hand, literally juggling it. Anyway, I fell in love with that whole thing, which got me at the age of 14 following the Grateful Dead whenever I had the opportunity, which I did all the way until the early 90s when Jerry Garcia passed away. Long story. I immediately recognized a trait that I had in common with Neal Cassady, and that was the ability to talk and talk and talk and have a conversation with myself. So when I started doing live streaming, I left it all up in the air that I would just talk, and whatever came. At the same time, I love hanging out in silence. So when there's a pause, just hang out in the silence, and then the words start again. And that way we turn it into a jazz-like conversation. Having said all that, I don't even remember why I started talking about all of that. But I did. All right. My apologies, guys. Let's see. Sabine says, Macif to Flower. And Flower says, "Ooh, hippies. I like hippie style." Of course, I was born in 65, which was the beginning of the hippies. I came of age in the 80s. I was sort of an 80s version of the hippies, following the Grateful Dead, long blonde hair, big beard, dancing at Grateful Dead shows, doing my hippie dances at Grateful Dead shows. I've come to the conclusion that I cannot do my hippie dance with my head shaved. It just doesn't look the same. As a matter of fact, if I did it, people would think instead of dancing, I was actually having some sort of seizure or I was choking. They'd come up behind me and give me the Heimlich maneuver. So you will not see me doing my Grateful Dead hippie dancing on live stream. Ever. I can promise you that. Brian is dropping a friend's channel. Awesome. School of Scarlet. Just subscribe, Brian, and I'll check her out after the live stream. Thanks. Let's see. Flower says bye to subs. Score Simple says that's never a bad thing, Eric, because you excel in the art of conversation with only one voice being heard. Thank you, Squirrel Sniper. Sniper says my wife's parents were both hippies, traveling the UK when she was growing up. She is a complete opposite and liked the nicer things like showers and champagne. I have grown quite fond of showers myself. William says, laughing, Eric, very funny. And you were saying how you would talk the talk and hate squirrel. It's good when I don't have anyone here, but I still want to do a live stream. And I'll just do a stream of consciousness conversation about whatever topic comes up, much like talking about Jack Kerouac and Ken Kesey and all that. I was going to say all that jazz, and it has everything to do with jazz. That was the soundtrack of the Beat Generation. It was the silent generation that put in the work. Silent generation came before the baby boomers. Think of all the great music that we enjoyed from the 60s. It was actually all done not by baby boomers. Jimi Hendrix, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, they were all of the silent generation. Baby boomers, I believe they started what, in 45? 45 to 64, which means that I'm actually Generation X. According to Milka, Generation X is the generation. I'm partial towards that silent generation. Speed says, Brian Lane, the mountain water, which is known to us here as spring water, that is very healthy. And you can also taste the purity and power. You know what I mean? You do know what you mean. When I lived in the mountains in Pennsylvania, the difference between spring water and regular water is like night and day. Like Sabine says, it tastes healthy. It's amazing. You can taste the purity and power, as Sabine said. And then, unfortunately, they try to capture that, and they put it in plastic bottles. So then you start getting all the microplastics. I think William talked about that a couple weeks ago. How much that we have the equivalent of a credit card in our system from all the microplastics that we consume? Sniper says, hi there, William. On the 24th of September, a great friend of mine, Paul Cook, fellow Essex lad like myself, he is on Jason. I sounded it out the other day, and I said, man, I said it correctly for the first time, and Squirrel Sniper isn't around to appreciate it. RKX, with my name mentioned, I appreciate that. Is a plumber by trade, but uses that in his work. Nice. Sabine says, don't apologize for your own true word, Eric. Please stay authentic. Thank you, Sabine. Man, I really appreciate your support. You and Tima, both of you. Sniper says, uncovering ancient cities and dwellings that are all supplied with water and air. Wow. And you said it's on the 24th. Brian says, that's great, Sabine. Brian says, thanks, Eric, for subbing to my friend's channel. You're welcome, Brian. And I look forward to diving in, checking out more. Moib says we consume nearly a credit card worth either monthly, well, or yearly. I was shocked, so I think it was monthly. Man, even yearly, microplastic adding up to a credit card. Don't even think about it. So I don't eat, and you mentioned this as well, because I was saying I don't really eat any prepackaged food. However, I think it was also Eric Lapointe was talking about, and I think Squirrel Sniper mentioned it as well, putting stuff on crops, putting plastic and stuff on top of crops to protect them. And then with the sunlight, we'll actually put microplastics within our food sources. So even eating organic, we're still getting microplastics in our diet. We need a paradigm shift. The food we eat, the way we think, the way we talk to each other, because we think this is normal. But it really, we live in an insane world. Completely insane world. None of this is normal. Sniper says it's coming, Eric. I hope so. Here's the thing. I don't know if I'll be around for it. Maybe my stepdaughter will be. But someone's kids will be, that's for sure. I hope it's gentle. I hope it's a gentle paradigm shift where we have a collective awakening and we all go, oh, it doesn't have to be this way. This is why one of my favorite people, Buckminster Fuller, says, dare to be naive. It's also why in Course in Miracles says, if you want to see a different world, you need to perceive a different world, which means you go within. Don't go out in the world with a picket sign demanding for change. It's never worked. Ever. The Ten Commandments, which supposedly came, right after in Exodus, right after Genesis, says, thou shalt not kill. Did that work? People are still killing each other. It's never worked. However, think about the people that turned within, discovered their own peacefulness, their own loving kindness nature, and the difference they've made. Think Buddha, think Jesus, think Allah. Now, people can say, but everyone twisted their teachings around. It's not Jesus' fault. He didn't tell you to twist things around. Allah didn't say, hey, take my teachings and then make things up on your own. Buddha was very explicit. He put the Eightfold Path of Buddhism and said, do this. It's what I love about yoga. It's what I love about A Course in Miracles. It says, do this. Forgive. Well, it says, unfortunately, we are at the crux of the event. For me, it's never about an outer event. Everything has to be inner. All starts with us. We are pilgrims on the edge of a new society, and we only get there when we turn within. We recognize our own projections. How can the outer world ever change if we haven't changed, if we haven't had an inner evolution, an inner revolution? Jacob drops the link for School of Scarlet. Hey, thank you. Hey, Brian. Jacob dropped the link for your friend. Very nice, Jacob. Much appreciated. Sniper says, the shift has started for sure. The bill is thinning now each day. If we go by, Sniper says, Jacob the Rainmaker. That's perfect name for him. If we go back, if we go with the traditional avenue of yogic philosophy, there has been cosmic events happening for the yugas forever. And then we just make a whole mess of things over and over and over and over again. We hit that revolutionary phase and everyone says, oh, cool. We're saved. Things are better. Life is good. And we just muck it up again. Sooner or later, individually, we say, you know what? I'm tired of mucking along. I'm going to turn within. I'm going to recognize my own divinity. I'm going to finally listen to the words of Jesus and find the kingdom of heaven. I'm finally going to follow the path of yoga to its only logical conclusion, that I'm going to listen to Buddha, and I'm going to practice right livelihood, right meditation, right living. That I'm going to listen to A Course in Miracles, and I'm going to forgive my way to joyfulness. My suggestion to anyone who's waiting for a revolution, quit. Start your own right now, this very moment. Scroll Sniper says, the shift started for sure. The veil is thinning now each day. That's what happened to me in about 1997. The veil on my head started thinning more and more each day. Eventually, the last one just dropped off peacefully by itself, never to be heard from again, sadly. Squirrel Sniper says, don't demand change, be the change. Absolutely. Perfect. But you know what? That's the last thing anyone, with the exception of the people here, with the exception of Squirrel Sniper and Sabine and William and Brian, all of you guys, no one wants to do the work. The thing is, change is simple, and it's not even truly change, because we're already that. It's simple, but it's not easy, because we're hypnotized by the world, and we're asked to turn our eyes away, and we just can't bring ourselves to do it, because something shinier is sure to appear on the horizon. We got to reach for it. We might get we got to look at the 2025 cars, that the new Marvel movie is going to come out in 2026 or whatever. None of those things are bad. But if we allow them to hypnotize us, if that's what we're living for, instead of just being alive, then we've got problems. And Squirrel Sniper has mentioned this quite a bit. This is what governments want. They want us to be hypnotized. They want us to focus on the billboards and the movies and the magazine ads and the commercials, all promising us eternal youth and looking pretty, getting the girls, getting the boys, doing this, doing that. They want us distracted, and they want us fighting each other, because then they can make the policies that benefit them. But we don't have to do that. Jacob says, hey, Brother Sniper. Buddha, my friend, how are you? Buddha was getting in some serious burpees. Buddha says, Yogi, hey, sir. Squirrel Sniper says, like I said, 200 years from Horse and Cart to Hardened Collider. How many times previously have we been there? Amazing, isn't it, to consider? You and I have talked about, and you mentioned this the other day, living in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Illusory simulation was the word I'm looking for. If we're living in a simulation, then it's the same stuff happening all the time. However, a few have woken up. Buddhas. Remember, Buddha means the awakened one. We are all potential Buddhas. Each and every one is a potential Buddha. Sages, seers, we can step outside. The Truman Show, we can escape. Buddhism offers us a path to escape. Yoga offers us a path to escape. Course in Miracles offers us a path to escape. Christianity, as practiced by Jesus, offers us a way to escape. Christianity, as shown by churches, keep us trapped within the simulation. Scorpion says, recognize the division is the last thing they want. I agree. Sadly. And of course, most of the ones don't even know, most of the leaders don't even know that they aren't really the leaders. No one is who we think they are. And that's not it's not a veil. We aren't who we think we are. We think that we think. We think that we are the narration in our head. Yogic psychology, even a little bit of practice of meditation shows us we're not thinkers. We are thoughts without a thinker. We are the awareness of the thoughts themselves. It's that one little realization, meaning I'm not that mess in my head, that I'm the peacefulness that simply observes, I'm witness to it all, and then I can step into that at any time. In fact, I already am, but I don't know it. Amazing breakthrough. So there's 8 limbs of yoga. There's the 8 branches of Buddhism. And there's really one path in A Course in Miracles. Let's say 3. Recognize that there is fear and there is love, and only one of them is real. And that, believing, for whatever reason we choose fear, we are projecting that outwards, and that gives us the world that we perceive. If you want the keys to heaven, the keys to eternity, if you want to step outside the simulation, if you want to step outside the illusion, Maya, Lila, as they say in Sanskrit, the play of God, if you want to step outside, you turn within, you forgive the projections, you turn to the voice of love, and the way you perceive the world changes. And that means you interact with people differently. And then people who you interact with are like, man, what is this person on? He's all shiny. He's all forgiving. He's a nice guy. He seems to be a generally nice guy. Doesn't easily take offense. Lets people off the hook. What's his secret? The secret is forgiveness. Yoga will take you there. Buddhism will take you there. Course in Miracles takes you there like that. But again, it's not easy because we're asked to forgive the unforgivable. Who wants to forgive the unforgivable? It's called unforgivable for a reason. And now you ask me to forgive it? Yes, I am. Because it's only unforgivable because we think it is. Truth is, everything's forgivable because everything that needs to be forgiven isn't happening right now. I read this the other day. I'm going to dive back in. Sorry, right in the chat. Just a minute. That the only holy true thing that we can say about the past is that it's not now. That's it. Everything we think we know about the past is wrong. And we've shown that through neuroscience. We've shown that through criminology. When they have eyewitnesses, several people who've watched the same thing, and they're called in days later, and everyone has a different story to tell. So the present moment, all we have, no future, no past, right now. It's always right now. We just project in the future and remember from the past. Present moment sets us completely free. Completely free. Everything is already forgiven. All right. What I miss? William says they believe the asteroid belt was a previous planet cycle, but the LHC caused the bubble planet to pop, and it is truly waking up. If water retains memory, would it not be fair to say very energy is capable of boundary cycles? I don't know. Simulacrum, sim, is a simulacrum, is breaking free from the hive mind. and adjusting to the biofield with our conscious and intuition. Nice. I like the way that sounds. The thing is, if we take the yogic view as well as the Buddhist view, and specifically the non-duality view of A Course in Miracles, um, you don't want to wake up from the illusion to another illusion. When you wake up from the illusion, you are in perfect oneness, no division. There's no anything else other than oneness, absolute love, the absolute itself. Let's see. Squirrel Sniper says fear and love can be the same thing. It's just different ends of the frequency. I guess it depends how you look at it. And yoga, Course in Miracles, Buddhism, Christianity, fear is an illusion. Doesn't even exist. Only love is real. If you look at what is lasting and enduring, we come to only love. Everything else is full of change. And when we grasp the change, that was Buddha's definition of suffering. So if we keep looking towards the things that are fearful, we stay in a fearful world. Yoga says, even in the now, it's controlled by perspective. Well, if we're truly centered in the now, there's no such thing as a perspective free, because it would be a matter of comparison, and there's no longer things to compare. There is just now. And the present moment is when illusion's been dropped, even for that holy instant. Because it would have to be someone to have a perspective. And when we enter those deep stages of non-duality, non-dual, there is no individual. So there's nothing to have a perspective of. As soon as we have a perspective, the infinite is split. Instead of perfect oneness, now we have the universe. This is the cosmology of both Buddhism, yoga, all three, and A Course in Miracles. And A Course in Miracles actually has more to do with Buddhism than it does with Christianity. There was perfect oneness. There was God. God is synonymous with love. And into that perfect oneness crept a tiny mad idea in which we forgot to remember to laugh. And it was the belief that we could be separate. And in an instant, that tiny mad idea caused the Big Bang, caused the universe to expand into what we have. However, that's just a dream, just an illusion. Because how could something that is perfect oneness ever split? It's impossible. How could God create something that was not God? It's impossible. So we are so asleep within the mind of God. We are ideas within the mind of God. Ideas leave not their source. So what we need to do is wake. And when we wake, we're free of perspective. We're free of division. We are free of anything other than perfect love. However, very few people can awake. Now. Doesn't mean always. The goal right now might be dream a happier dream that will help us awaken. I always like that. Hey, Dottie, how are you? Let's see. Jacob says, thank you so much for having me on your live stream, Eric. Brother Mr. Yogi, truly appreciate it. Much love and respect. Big salute. Big salute to you, my friend. I'm actually going to end things in just a few minutes. I was shooting for an hour, and man, I managed to talk and talk and talk for an hour and almost 10 minutes. Danny says, thanks for sharing. Thanks, Jacob, for sharing. Danny says, I'm resting at the moment, listening in. I appreciate that. Squirrel Simple says, I just realized with that last comment, when searching for the truth, it's not the exact answer you're seeking. It's the honor of seeking and wanting, putting you in the one. Man, I like that. That was awesome, Sniper. It's so easy. We got lost in the description. This is why every tradition, the Tao Te Ching, the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. The God that can be described is not truly God, just a description. And of course, Miracles, it says words are but symbols of symbols twice removed. Which means everything that I just said means absolutely nothing. It's a nice description, but it's not the actuality. It's not the isness of the is. Isness of the is. Hey, Kay, how are you? Kay is getting in her steps for the month of September. Kay says, hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you, Kay. So I said it's the month of September. I'm waiting for Kay to do her steps to Earth, Wind, and Fire, September. Noble says, thank you for stopping by my stream, buddy. Absolutely. Got to support you when you're getting in that 10K. Jacob drops a link for Kay. Thank you, Jacob. As well as Noble Savage. Kay says, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know what? Earth, Wind, and Fire. They might be one of the only universal bands. Like, I love thinking that the Beatles were a universal band. Everyone loves the Beatles. But unfortunately, it's not true. Not everyone loves the Beatles. I don't know why, but they don't. I've never met anyone who didn't love Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, if you listen to September, so infectious, such a joyful song. How can you not fall in love with them? But some bands, people used to argue Beatles versus Stones. Kay says, yes, the Beatles were amazing as well. Noble says, my birthday is on the 14th. I remember. Believe it or not, Noble's going to be 63 years old. No one knows that, except for me and Noble. Noble says, everyone please like and subscribe to this exceptional human being. It is great to take home to your family. Oh, well, thank you for those kind words, Noble. Hey, Noble, are you back on Facebook yet? If you are, look me up. Noble says, my mom used to sing September on my birthday because it was her favorite music group. Everyone loves Earth, Wind, and Fire. Kay says, Noble looks young. He's a young-looking 63-year-old. Noble will be on September 14th. Well, I hope we connect. I'd absolutely love to wish you a happy birthday on your birthday. I hope you have big plans. I hope you have fun plans. All right, guys. I got to wrap things up, though. Kay says he is 63. I've never thought that. He is actually not 63. I actually don't know how old Noble is. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Noble is 33 years old. 34 years old. Mocha would tell you, okay, Eric's making things up when he can't keep from smiling at how funny he thinks he is when he actually is not very funny at all. That would be, that would be the key. Noble says, Facebook December 14th. When I get in shape, I'll have to fly out to your state and do a workout with you. That would be awesome. Man, we'd go trail running. I'd take out to my local park. Kay says, that sounds more believable, Yogi. Nobody's turning 32. Man, I could be Noble's dad. I think I could be Jacob's grandfather. Not literally. Well, man, this conversation's taken a sobering turn for me. Kay says, Noble says, how far do you jog nowadays? Not much. I do a lot of run walk. I'll run as far as I went, walk as long as I want to. And I do about 2.5 miles early in the morning. And then I do another 2.5 to 3, sometimes 4 later in the day. So I average about 5 miles a day or so. But back in the day, back in the ultra running days. Okay, I can't believe you have a 32-year-old. Kay is ever youthful. Energetically, physically. Guess, I have a 30-year-old stepdaughter. Hey, Jace. My oldest is 37. Wow. Jace says I have a 30-year-old. Oh, wow. I wouldn't have thought that. You had mentioned the other day that you were going to call your son, I believe. Hey, John, how are you? John says, what do you do, sir? Right now, this is it. I sit and talk on YouTube and make about 17 cents per conversation. Noble says, I thought you were 32. Were you thinking of, I don't know, my IQ? Jay says, we spoke. I did contact. Nice. I hope the conversation went the way you wanted it to. Whatever that might be. Jay says, all good. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Yeah, my stepdaughter. I hadn't even thought of that. Is 30. I guess she's 31. I'm aging as we speak. I'll be honest, 59 is the first year I've really started thinking about age. And I think most of that had to do with screwing up my back, which had nothing to do with age and everything to do with my foolishness. And I guess I don't recover from things quite as fast. I'm still able to do everything that I want to do as often as I want to do, but it just takes me a little longer to recover from it. I think I am 13 days away from doing 1,000 days of burpees in a row. The last several months, it hasn't been as many burpees, not because of any reason other than I'm doing other things as a priority, but I wanted to hang on to burpees. All right. So I think I need to wrap things up for right now, guys. I'll be back a little bit later. Let me know what you guys think. I mentioned this before. Um, and you can let me know some other time if you want, if you have a view. Is it better? Would you rather see like a 3 hour live stream or 1 hour 3 times a day? I know a lot of people will say doing frequent live streams isn't the way to do it. Other people say one long one, but I don't know. I just come on and talk. None of it's really planned. William says, Yogi, in a way, you have done Holy Grail. That's true. I think Reaper mentioned that as far as streaks were concerned, I'm fourth in line. But some people have a set number. You got to do 100 a day. There was weeks in a row when I was doing 500 every day. Jason's waving at William. Kay says, I like to try different times a day for videos or lives. I like that too. John says, I think having live streams whenever you're in the mood is better than sticking to a schedule, but that's just me. The thing is, I like that, John. The weird thing for me, maybe it's because I have free time. This is when I feel like doing live stream, and it just comes up. It fits in perfectly with my schedule. You know, in the morning to after I've meditated, I've done my yoga, I've written for the day, have my cup of coffee. Just feels the perfect time. And then the same in the afternoon. Finish my meditation. I've gotten some work done. Taken my walks for the day, my running for the day. All good suggestions. Hey John, I just subscribed to you, my friend. It's a way to stay connected. One says, I love the schedule. Hangouts. Well, I like the morning one. It leaves me about 9 a.m. Wanting one. I'd like to hear that. Thank you, William. Kay says, do what's convenient for you. Jay says, I'm feeling an outdoor stream. Hey, that would be nice. Eric Lapointe has mentioned that, doing it live streaming one of my walks or doing a premiere. That way I can film it. William says, hello, Jace. Are you feeling any better? Yeah, he had mentioned that he was. Eric Lapointe. You mentioned him? I think Eric Lapointe was lurking behind me the entire time with a slice of cheese in his hand. Hey, Austin. Hope you had a good birthday, Austin. Jay says, well, I'm a bit sore, but okay. Back in action tomorrow, right? All right, well, I do have to run. Got a few things to do. I'll be back in like 2.5 hours or so. Austin said he had a great birthday. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Austin turned 29. if you guys have the opportunity, watch hours for Runner Boy if you want. Watch a video, do a playlist, watch a live stream. And we're working on watch hours for Jace. And if anyone is not subscribed to our friend Brian Lane up above, it's 974. So he is subscribers, 26 away from hitting 1K. We want to keep getting some subscribers for Jacob as well. For all you guys. Watch hours for Eric Lapointe. Jace says, I will Runner Boy assist. Thanks, Jace. I know Runner Boy will very much appreciate that. As well, our friend Austin would love to get monetized. So we can help him out too. All right, with that, I got to run. I will see everyone later. If you're around and you got nothing to do, come on back. We'll talk some more. Thanks, guys. Take care.